Hello again, guys. So welcome again to our basic calculus class, and this will be our third week, and we are still concentrating on limits. So we will continue about discussion about limits. Okay, so I will share my screen, and the lesson for today is about the basic limit laws. The basic limit laws. Okay, so we have a lot of limit laws, but we will tackle first the basics. Okay, so para sa mga, or so for the deepened part of this one, so yung mga medyo mahirap is meron tayong idea on how to solve them. Okay, so the basic limit laws is usually um, includes okay, a constant and two functions. Okay, that is normally. Okay, pwede rin naman isang constant lang or isang function lang. Okay, so normally. Pero ang pinaka basic talaga is we have one constant and two given functions. For example here, for each of these statements, let C be a constant. When say constant, that is given. Okay, F and G be functions. So meron tayong dalawang functions, function of x, f of x and g of x, which may or may not have C in their domains. Okay? Kahit wala daw yung constant sa kanilang domain, it's okay. And the limits of f and g both exist. Okay? So yung dalawang functions natin, meron na siyang sariling mga limits. Kumbaga, it's already solved. Okay? Where limit f of x, if x approaching c is equal to L, and limit of g of x, if x is approaching c, is equal to m. Okay, so meron tayong C and then two functions. So we will start with that one. So this will be the first law. The first law is what we call the limit of a constant function. Limit of a constant function. This will be the number one. Okay, this will be number one. Limit of a constant function. The limit of a constant function is the constant itself. Let k be any constant, then limit of k as x approaches c is also k. Kung ano yung nanditong constant, that will be the answer also. For example, we have the limit of 2 if x is approaching 5 is also 2. No need to think. Okay? So kung ano yung nanditong given, that will be the answer here. Remember, if this is a constant, pag meron na tayong ganitong situation, may iba na sagot natin. Okay? May iba na sagot natin. But this is not a constant. Got it? Okay. Another example, limit of negative 1.5. If x is approaching 1, then of course this is a constant also, so we will just copy. So that will be our first limit law, limit of a constant function. Kung ano yung nasa k, just copy and that will be the answer. Kung ano yung nasa k, just copy and that will be the answer. Okay, that's the first one, easy. Number 2. So our number 2 is the limit of an identity function. Identity function. What is identity? Kamukha, right? Kamukhang kamukha. That's what we call identical twins. So kamukhang kamukha. Okay, so this will be number 2. So the limit of the identity function of f of x is equal to x as x approaches c is equal to c. So if we have a variable x here, or the function of x, and x approaching c, we will just change x onto c, and that will be the answer. Okay? That will be the answer. For example, this one, limit of x, if x approaches 1.5, so just change x into 1.5 and that will be the answer. Limit of x, if x is approaching negative 92, and just, okay, just substitute the x, so magiging negative 92 lang siya. Okay, that's number 2. Again, the limit of a constant, kung ano yung nasa k, just copy the k. That will be the answer. Limit of an identity, kung ano ang approaching limit ni x, just copy that one and then that will be the answer. Okay? Next. Medyo nagiging complicated na. Abuhin ko muna sila. Okay, for example here, this is the constant multiple law. Constant multiple law. That means meron tayong isang constant and isang function na nasa isang equation. Okay? So isang constant at isang function nasa isang equation siya. So the limit of a constant k multiplied by a function is equal to the k multiplied by the limit of the function. So what is the meaning of that one? So for example, we have here, this is the main point, limit of k multiplied by the function. Okay, so paano siya solve? Ilalabas mo lang si k. So from here, si k mapupunta rito. Okay, so yan na siya. And then malilipat siya multiplied by the limit of f of x. If x approaching c, okay, and as we can just remember, yung f of x natin is we have the limit L. That will be any number or any variable, etc. Okay? So if we will put outside k, and this will be k, multiplied the limit of this one, which is L, so we will have the final product as KL, or k times L. So understand more about that, we have here an example. For example, the f of x, or the limit of f of x, if x approaching c is 5, for example, this will be the given. Let us try to answer the following. The number 1 is limit of 3 f of x, 3f of x, if x approaching c. Okay, medyo magulo kasi yung equation, kaya I will put it here para mas makita niyo. Ito yung pinakaunang problem. This is the problem. Okay? This is the first problem. Limit of 3 f of x if x is approaching c. So, if we will follow the formula here, so ilalabas ko lang si 3 dito, so mapupunta si 3 sa labas, multiplied by the limit of x approaching c of f of x equals to be the answer, right? And then, again, the next step, I will just copy 3 multiplied by the limit of f of x is 5. Ito yung given. Tama? So I will just multiply it by 5. And then for the final answer, just multiply them and we have the answer 15. So we got 15 here. Okay? So from the given to the solution up to the answer. Clear? Okay. Yung number 2 naman. Yung number 2 sagutan natin. Ay, sige, okay lang. Just remember, the limit of f of x is 5, ha? Yun yung pinaka-given natin. Limit of f of x is 5. So for number 2, we have the given limit of negative 2 f of x x approaching c. Okay, ito yung given. And then, ililipat lang natin si negative 2 outside, so it will become negative 2 multiplied by the limit of f of x if x approaching c equals. Then, we all know that the limit of f of x approaching c is 5, so I will just change the 1 into 5. So negative 2 multiplied by 5. And if we will find them or find the product, the answer will be negative 10. That's why we got negative 10 here. Okay? As simple as that. That is the constant multiple law. So we have now the limit of a constant, limit of identical, and then the constant multiple law. Okay? We have now 3. Okay, lipat ko na. Okay, good. Next one, we have this sum or difference law. Sum or difference law. So this one is the combination of addition to subtraction. Pwede nyo siyang paghiwalayin. Okay, that is also the same process. Kung plus muna and then minus. It depends on the given. Okay, so we have the sum or difference law. Again, we have a given two functions and a constant c. We have the limit f of x plus or minus g of x if x approaching c is equivalent to the limit of f of x if x approaching c plus or minus the limit of g of x if x approaching c equals their answers are limit or L plus or minus m. Okay? So it looks like tricky pero madali lang yan. So for example, we have this one. We have two given functions here. The limit of f of x and the limit of g of x. Okay? So the limit of f of x is negative 3. And the limit of g of x is positive 4. So let us solve limit of f of x plus g of x if x is approaching c. So gagawin na natin yung ating formula. So what will be the limit of f of x? That is negative 3. Limit of g of x? That is positive 4. So if you will solve them, negative 3 plus 4 equals 1. So this is now the answer to this problem. As simple as that. Okay? Easy. Kasi kapag if you will see the formula, it looks tricky. Mahirap sundan. Pero if you already know how to do that, then oh, dali lang pala. Okay? Again, so you will just plus the limit of f of x, that is negative 3, plus the limit of g of x, that is 4. So negative 3 plus 4 is positive 1. Okay? Remember those, ha? Next one. If you have questions, kung mabilis masyado, just comment below. And then kung meron pa kayo ibang questions, just PM me. Okay? Okay, another problem here. Isa pang problem dito. So we have f of x is negative 3 and g of x is also 4. Now, so again, same process. Iniba lang yung equation kasi naging minus na siya dito. So we have the limit of f of x is negative 3 minus the limit of g of x, which is 4. So negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. So the answer here is negative 7. As simple as that. Okay? Kasi may examples mamaya is combination of all these limits. Hindi pwedeng isa-isa lang yung ilalagay natin. Okay? So, the examples ko dito is either 1 or 2 lang. So, you need to listen well. Okay, next one. We already finished the constant, identical, multiple law, and then the sum or difference law. Of course, meron tayong plus or minus, meron din tayong product. Okay, so we have the product law. Same process as what we've discussed in plus and minus. We will just multiply the limit of f of x and the limit of g of x. So for example, we have the limit of f of x, which is 6, and the limit of f of or g of x and is negative 8. So we will just multiply those two numbers. So we have 6 times negative 8 is negative 48. That's the product law. Okay? So, dapat ma-inculcate nyo na ito sa inyong minds. And the exam is approaching. So you need to review. Okay? Next one. If you have sum or difference, product law, of course, we have what we call the quotient law. Okay? So the quotient law we have here, same process again as of just like sum or difference and the product law. Magdi-divide lang tayo ng mga limits ng dalawang given functions. What will be the value of f of x? For example, I will put 6, and then the value of g of x is 3. Just divide them, it is equal to 2. That will be the answer. Provided that m here is not 0. Dapat hindi siya 0. Kasi kapag 0 siya, undefined na yan. And it will include another law to solve for that. Okay? So yung sum and difference, product and quotient, same process, just like what we are doing on numbers. Just find what is the limit of f of x and the limit of g of x. It's either you add them, subtract, multiply, or divide. Okay? As simple as that. Sa division, always nasa taas si f of x. Kung ano yung first equation, yun yung pinakauna nasa taas. It's numerator. Okay? Yes, for example, this one. We have the limit of f of x is negative 25 and the limit of g of x is negative 10. So we will just put the 1 into an equation. Again, ang nauna is f of x. So dapat nasa taas siya. Okay, so we have negative 25 and then for the lower part we have negative 10. Cancel the negatives and then just find its simplest form, which is 5 over 2. As simple as that. That will be the fifth limit law. Okay? Next law. We have the last one. Or no, the second of the last one. The limit of the integral power of a function is equal to the integral power of the limit of the function. Okay, if you understand that one, it's easy. Provided that the limit of the function is not equal to 0, when the exponent is negative, okay, so dapat is hindi siya 0, at dapat yung n natin is, no, provided that L is not equal to 0, when n is less than 0. Okay. So this will be the power law. So if, as you can see this one, again, if you know the limit of f of x, just copy the one here, and then we have the given, and here it's either 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. It's up to the problem, and then just find their solution. Okay? Okay, so this one here, may tumatawag sa akin. Ayan, okay. So again, so the limit of f of x, if we have the power law, you just copy the limit of the f of x and then just put the power, just put the exponent. Okay, that's the power, right? The exponent, and then find the value of that one. Okay. So for example, we have here, and so we have the example here. If limit f of x approaching c equals -4, then the limit of f of x cube, if x approaching c is equal to, and just copy the value of the limit, which is -4. Yeah, napunta na siya, and then just copy the given exponent. So what is -4 cube? And that will be -64. Okay? -64. Just find it. Easy. And so that will be the power law. That will be the sixth one. And the last one, we have the root law. Yan. Patapos na tayo sa mga limit laws. Okay, sa root law. Again, shortcut ko na ha. You just need to know what will be the limit of the function of x, will be L, and then just copy kung ano yung root na given natin. Okay? Kung squared ba yan, or cube root, or fourth root, or fifth root, or nth root of anything. Okay? Just follow that one. So yung pinaka-clue lang natin, ano yung value ng f of x, copy here, and then ano yung tinatanong niya dito, kung anong root, and just solve it. Okay? Just like this one. Limit of the fifth root of f of x if x is approaching c. So we have here the value of f of x, which is 32. So I will just copy 32 inside the fifth root. And then I will copy the fifth root here. So we have the fifth root of 32, which is 2. As simple as that. Okay? So after knowing the 7, we have 7, right? The first one is the constant, law of the constant, limit, identical limit, multiple law, sum or difference, product, quotient. What is the next one? The power law and the root law. 8 pala siya, 8. So we have 8 laws. And we will now apply those here on these examples. Okay. First example. So what is this one? What limit law or laws can be used to determine the limit of 5 multiplied by g of x squared if x is approaching c? So we have how many laws here? We have 2 laws. We have the multiple law is because we have a number here. So lalabas lang yan siya dito. That is multiple law. And we have the power law. So we have two limit laws that we will use to find the answer here. Okay? So you need to know those. And let's practice. Find the value of limit 2x plus 3 if x is equal to -4. What do you think are the laws that we need to use here? We have 2 laws. Okay? That is the law of the constant and the law of identical. Okay? Why law of identical is because we have x as -4, so we will just change x as -4, that's identical law, plus the constant law, we will just copy the 3, and then we will just find the answer. So 2 times -4, that is -8, plus 3 equals -5. So the answer in limit 2x plus 3, if x is approaching negative 4, is negative 5. Okay? Again, we use the identical and then the constant law. Easy. Okay, next one. Find the value of the limit 5 minus 4x if x is approaching negative 2. So we have here, again, two laws, the identical and the constant. So for the constant law, I will just copy 5. Oh no, tatlong laws. Is we also have the sum or difference law. Tama sa natin minus dyan. So we have the constant law. If I will put the one into the normal formula, it will become limit of x approaching negative 2, 5 minus yeah, minus the limit of x approaching negative 2, we have 4x. Ayan, so magiging dalawa yung ating equation. We have here, we have the constant, so magiging 5 lang siya, minus the difference, and then 4x, 4 multiplied by negative 2, this will identical. So 5 minus negative 8, so we have 5 plus 8, we have 13. So 13 is our answer. Okay? 13 is our answer. As simple as that. Okay? Okay, next one. Okay, note that direct substitution may not be applicable to some limits. Yung ginagawa natin sa identical, kanina, if we have 2x and we have the problem x approaching 2, hindi palaging nagda-direct substitution tayo sa x. Okay? It's because it may not be applicable to some limits that will be discussed in the next lesson. It's because if you will use this one into the next lesson, palagi kayo makakaroon ng sagot na undefined. So, not all the time is gagamitin natin sa direct substitution. Okay? Not all the time ay gagamitin natin siya doon sa mga ibang problems ng limits. It's because if you use that one, palagi kayo makakaroon ng undefined na sagot. Okay? So, you need to be careful. Okay? Burin ko muna sila. Okay, good. Next. Let's practice again this one. So we have now two given functions. We have the f of x as 0.25 and the limit of g of x is negative 2.34. Let's evaluate this limit. So we have the limit of 10 f of x, g of x squared, okay, if x is approaching b. So this will be the combination of multiple law, power law, and the multiplication or the product law. So tatlo yung ating gagamitin. For the multiple law, ilalabas muna natin si 10. So it will look like this. It will look like 10 multiplied by the limit of f of x multiplied by the limit of g of x squared Ayan, equals blank. Ganyan yung magiging tsura niya, di ba? So, unahin natin ito. Since this one is already a multiple law, so I will just put 10 multiplied by the function of x, or the limit of f of x is 0.25. Okay, multiplied by the limit of g of x, which is negative 2.34, then we have the squared. Okay, now what is 10 multiplied by 0.25? And we have the answer 2.5 multiplied by the square of negative 2.34. And so I need my calculator. So 2.34 squared is equal to 5.4756. Again, you multiply them. Multiplied by 2.5 is equal to 13.689. So this will be our answer. Let's see if you're correct. Yes, we are correct. So our answer is 13.689. Ayan, copyhin nyo muna. Or screenshot. Or nakapost na ganyan. Okay, para meron kayong solution. Finished copying this one? Okay. Picture ko lang siya. Okay, good. Next one. Everyone erase this one. So again, these are now the combinations of all the laws that we've discussed. So you need to apply everything that you've learned. Okay, next one. So we are correct, 13.689. Ayan, again, so using the limit f of x equals 0.25 and the limit g of x equals negative 2.34, evaluate the limit of negative 4, f of x cubed and g of x, if x is approaching b. Okay, so I will stop sharing and I will use the screen of my friend. So we'll share the whiteboard. Okay, and then I will copy the given we have here. Wait. The limit of fx, if x approaching b is equal to 0.25. Okay, and the other one is the limit of g of x if x is approaching b is equivalent to negative 2.34. And then the problem will be, let us evaluate the limit of negative 4 f of x cube and g of x if x is approaching b. So here we will use the multiple law, the power law, and the product law again. Okay, so to find this solution for this one, let us, sana yung aking muka? Ayan. Ayan, so let us solve for this one. The first step is we will put negative 4 outside. So we have, negative 4 multiplied by the limit of f of x cube if x is approaching b multiplied by the limit of g of x if x is approaching b. Okay, equals. And then, again, I will follow this one. Negative 4 multiplied by the limit of f of x is 0.25. So we have 0.25, and then we have the power 3 multiplied by the g of x, which is negative 2.34 equals. Okay, next step, negative 4 multiplied by the cube of 0.25. So 0.25 times, okay, so we have the answer 0.015625 multiplied by negative 2.34. So let's multiply all of them. Negative 4 times 0.015625 times 2.34 is equal to, the answer is 0.14625, or let us round up this one into the hundred place. You can see this one as 0.50. So we have the limit of this number one as 0.15. As simple as that. Okay? I'll take a photo of this one para may pangastan ako. Okay. Okay? As simple as that. So that will be the end of this class. Okay? And I will send your activity in your QSA. Just wait for that one, and then we will meet again next Saturday. Hopefully, I can send my video before Saturday para naman maging on time na tayo. Okay? So, for this class, let us summarize this one. We have 8 limit laws. We have the constant law, identical, function law, the multiple law, the sum difference, the product, the quotient, the power law, and the root law. Okay, so those are the 8 laws that you can use to answer limits. And for the other laws, we will talk about that one next time. Yun na yung pinaka medyo mahirap na content. Okay, but since we are here to learn and we are here to help each other. Okay, so this is our lesson for today, and see you again next time. Bye bye.